got three houses. I got three houses. I got three more houses.
All right, Lockie, we're going.
What's up, man?
I've bamboozled you. The podcast has started.
I'm here. I'm receptive.
It's time played 3HR.
Tell me what I have to do, and I'll do it.
You got to talk to me about a video game for around 30 minutes.
There's nothing I would rather do, especially the video game we have chosen today.
Yes, one you picked for us both to play. Is Just Cause 2 by is it Avalanche Studios?
I don't know. I don't know that stuff.
I think maybe it's them. I don't remember. But
this is something that anyone listening should realize is that Louis is way better with developers than me and all that stuff. You have. I would say you have very good knowledge of that stuff.
Yeah, I guess I probably know too much.
No, not at all. I mean, I wish I knew it, but I don't.
Yeah. All right. Just Cause 2. One thing I should say before we kick this whole business off is it's very, very windy outside my flat.
People don't care about that.
I just there's a lot of wind. Yeah. So Just Cause 2. I guess we should talk about how you and I have both played an excessive amount of this video game. Back when it came out, whenever it was, 2010 or something. Something like that. I don't know how much you played of it, but I played like a lot.
Yeah, same. I'm not sure. It was probably like 100.
Yeah, I think probably over that for me.
Okay.
For sure. Actually, I was thinking about when I was playing it again, did you ever play the first one?
At someone else's house, briefly, for like a bit, but I never owned it.
Yeah, I didn't have any experience with the first one at all. And then the demo came out for Just Cause 2.
Speaking my language, Lee.
I think I played it at your house or something, and then I played it at mine, and I was kind of lukewarm on it, and you were pretty pumped for it.
That's like the weirdest demo experience I've ever had, because it was a really great demo where they gave you a small section of the map, and
which was a large section of the map.
Because I mean, the maps. It's one of those games with. For those who don't know, it's like an open world action game, over the top action game, and
sandbox game. Yeah.
You're just given like a big chunk of map and half an hour to do whatever you want in it. And
which is like the perfect way to set that up. Like,
yeah.
That's obviously they had a clear understanding of what made this game good, and it was not the story missions.
No, and I think we'll return to that.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I imagine you played that demo like multiple times. Mm-hmm. We all have those demos that we've all played like thousands of times, and Just Cause 2 was probably one of those. At least for you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because it's one of those ones as well where you had to watch the cutscene at the start.
Yeah.
Not skippable and famous, and I think it's almost picked up a bit of fame online. But like the whole, you're introduced to this woman and she goes, "My name is Bolo Santosi. I am the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the Reapers." And, like, the voice acting's terrible.
Yep.
And the story's terrible.
Oh man.
And they make you watch it every time. Fuck,
yep.
Dude, that was so good, that demo. Give it me now, I wish.
It was just, man, just thinking about it, like, it was just one of those games that it's so good when a game comes out that you're not aware that you're gonna love. That's like the best thing when you haven't like seen a game at like E3 or whatever, and it just appears, and then turns out you just love it. And you just play it forever.
Great.
It's the best thing.
And funny, because you remember Ted, obviously, a couple weeks ago, you did a solo because Ted was here. He was, one of the last times he was in England, he was over when that demo was out.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
We just took turns playing it.
Yeah.
And he's not even big on video games.
Yeah.
But I got him into that. Well, the game got him into that. I can't take much credit.
And I don't. So did you? So yeah. So we've played this game a lot, right?
Yeah, it's fucking
And the goal of this week was to play another 3 hours of it.
Yeah.
There was no other restrictions on it other than that. So I'm curious. Did you start the game again, or did you play from your save?
No way. I played from my save.
Okay, so I started the game again.
I love it. I wish I had done that.
Yeah, so I didn't have my original PS3. Well, I did. It's actually in the trunk of my car currently, and it's been there for about a year now. But I bought like about a year ago. I bought just the really cheap, crappy PS3, the last one they released for like 60 quid used. Because I wanted something. Because I was staying at my mum's every once in a while, so I wanted something to play. Like all my old games were there, so I was like, oh, well, I should have a PS3 here, I guess.
Smart.
So I bought one of those crappy guys, and I basically haven't used it, but I could use it for Just Cause 3, Just Cause 2 even, and obviously I didn't have my old save. But one of the first things I wanted to mention was just...
I love it. This is going to be a great episode.
Just using a PS3 again is like... I was surprised by actually how nice the UI is again. Like, just how, like, the memories of that UI. And, like... Even though it's like, I guess actually it's like in 180p because it's just the menus. It actually still looks pretty nice and like moves pretty speedy and it's not like slow.
It's so great, so responsive. Yeah. Everything's where you want it to be. You never get lost in it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because we spent so much time in it, but
yeah, sure.
I've always preferred it to PS4.
But also I had to. So the reason this PS3 was so cheap is that it has a 12 gigabyte hard drive.
Ooh, yeah.
So I can only have one game installed on there at a time, basically. Mm-hmm. So whatever I was playing before, I don't remember what the save was, but it was like 8 gigabytes. So I had to delete that. But it takes like it took 20 minutes to delete the save file. That was insane. I was just sitting there watching that tiny little circle thing go around. Man, nuts. Anyway, so then Just Cause installed, booted up, played the old... that music comes in.
Yeah, that classic thing on the PS3 menu when you hover over and I had the same thing, but my controller just obviously had no battery in it.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just pumping up so loud, like the same 5 seconds of explosions.
Yeah, that tiny little cutscene thing, that little gameplay. Yeah, and then I boot the game up and I am just shocked at the quality of voice acting and dialogue and direction. And like I knew that like when we played this game as teens, that stuff was bad. Like that stuff was objectively not good or particularly enjoyable. But like watching it now, it's like holy crap bad. Like I watched this weekend I watched The Room.
Yeah.
Which is like a film famous for being terrible.
Yeah.
In a very spectacular, fascinating way. And I watched that for the first time this weekend. And like, it's like not far off like that. It's just bizarre, disjointed. People seem to be speaking 2 different languages at all times.
The thing that just boggles my mind is like I understand budget and stuff, and they like absolutely without question put the right resources where they had to make this an incredible game. Yeah. However, pay me like half of whoever you paid to get to do this, and I swear to God, I could go out, find some mates, and do a better job than they've done. And obviously, what I would do would be shit, but it'd be better than like just get someone at all like competent at.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
At this.
I think what it is that they're sort of going... They clearly saw that, like, okay, we can't afford to hire a person that's going to be good, or we don't really want to put the resources into making this side of the game worthwhile, because it's not what we care about. So let's go all in on that.
Yeah, that's true.
And make it, like, really, really campy and naff and sort of, like, B-movie-ish.
Which is exactly what it is.
But the problem is you do need skill to do that. Like you can't just go for naff. You have to have an endearing character somewhere, or like you have to have some strength to it. It
Oh
can't
my
just
God.
be this is bad as the thing. And there's this character who is just the worst thing of all time, called Sheldon.
Welcome to Air Sheldon. How can I help you, hombre?
Yeah, so he's called Sheldon, which should give you some indication. For some reason, his name is Sheldon, and he's this American. That's his sort of
like
whole
a
architecture.
Texan,
Yeah,
sort of
he's this Texan man,
cowboy hat.
cowboy hat, Hawaiian shirts. And I actually didn't get a chance to meet him in the game this time around, because he like shows up as like you're like trying to find him. You're not sure if he's like a traitor yet or something.
Double agent,
it's hard to
triple
follow.
agent.
Yeah, but there's this line that Rico says like in the first 2 minutes cutscene, and I know who Sheldon is at this point. He's just like a figure, an anonymous figure at this point, but I know who he is. And Rico says, "Oh, Sheldon, I can't betray him. He taught me everything I know." And there's something about this laughable, chubby Texan man teaching Rico Rodriguez, this like super spy agent with a grappling hook, everything he knows. It's like, man, I really want to see that montage. You know?
Yeah.
I want to see what happened there.
What? Then the decline of
Just like, how the hell did
decline of
I just?
Sheldon.
Oh man.
Because when I played, so what I did with my time was I just hit up all the classic
Yeah,
spots.
that's what I did once I got out of the tutorial missions.
Yeah, exactly, and like the extractions that you can do to lift you from one place to place. They have like 3 set lines where Sheldon talks, and they're terrible, terrible. I mean, this game just like lives in the worst possible stereotypes.
Yeah,
of,
literally every single character is some stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to say like female rebel leader, like it's exactly what you picture, or like militia soldier, and you get it. Or
I mean, isn't like the main bad guy effectively just like Kim Jong Il sort of thing, just like ridiculous version of that, like Team America version
I think
of that?
so. Yeah. And I mean, infamous line. You go through the whole game fighting like militia troops and this like National Army troops or whatever they are, and then he's like, okay, so you can beat these guys, but can you defeat my ninjas?
Yeah.
And
Which, if it was successfully campy, it could get away with, because that makes
But
sense. You're
it's-
doing something dumb. But because the whole thing is just so badly done, it just comes off so dumb.
it's so laughably. I mean, because the comparable thing would be like Saints Row. So like
Right,
Saints
yeah,
Row
right.
2, like that's exactly what they did so well. Like that over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah, but it had like soul and like the characters you actually cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This game's just fun. This game's
Yeah, this
like
game is-
100% in gameplay.
Just fun. I was yeah, I mean, I don't know. So like half of my time, not half of my time, probably about an hour of my time was taken up doing all the tutorial mission stuff. And the game starts out, it's kind of okay. It's just trying to make sure that you understand how a grappling hook works, because I guess, it's pretty unique to the Just Cause series. So like, it's like there's this bit where like you get out of all these explosions, and the first thing you have to do is it's like, oh no, this Russian guy that drinks vodka, his car's crashed, and he's like, oh, I can only drive that car. That's my favorite car. Can you get it out for me? So they show you, oh, you're supposed to tether it to a tractor and then pull it out, which was weird for me because I played Just Cause 3, so I'm not used to. That's a constant thing of like the mechanics that were added in Just Cause 3 are missing. So obviously, so like one of the simpler things you get in Just Cause 3 is an ability to like pull your grappling hook to sort of shorten it. So that means that when it's connected to 2 objects, it pulls them together. Whereas this grappling hook's just like static, so you stick it to something, and if the other thing isn't moving, then
You got just a
then nothing's gonna
piece of
happen.
rope hanging
you have
between
just a
2
very
objects.
tight piece of rope. Yeah, exactly. So like that is a kind of novel when he was like, yeah, you got to attach it to this tractor and then drive the tractor. I was like, oh yeah, okay. And that's kind of interesting because it means even though you lose some of the you do definitely do lose some like gameplay potential by not having those new mechanics, but also you gain some by the fact that you now have to interact with two objects, and like a simple I don't know. It's kind of curious.
I mean,
I
I
couldn't
think
figure out how I felt about that.
I think 3, what they did with the grappling hook and the wingsuit that you get, just make movement feel so smooth, so fun, so great. But you do lose the classic sort of set movement of Just Cause 2, which is essentially grappling hook, parachute, grappling hook, parachute, grappling hook, parachute. And you move really quick, and it still feels great in Just Cause 2. Like, I was thinking, after having just played, and obviously we're both in the mindset that Just Cause 2 is better
Yes,
than 3.
significantly.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, we'll get there, but I think Just Cause 3, like, the movement was so silky and so fun. And I was expecting to, when I went back onto 2, it would feel like super sluggish, but it actually didn't at all. And like played so much of this game that just muscle memory comes in, and you're moving around like it's no one's business.
I think I did feel the lack of the wingsuit, because I think the wingsuit in Just Cause 3 is just like one of the best, like one of the best things.
It's worth a play.
Yeah, like just for like if you just want to spend like 5 hours of like flying around in a wingsuit, like it's really, really just kind of amazing. I think it feels really good. The animation's crazy. It's I don't think flying has ever really been done particularly well in a game, but Just Cause 3 had nailed it in my opinion.
Which is the tragedy.
Which is a tragedy because the rest of Just Cause 3 is the blandest.
It's just so, like, in 2, they took all of their resources and put them into the world and making movement and, like, all the chaos really fun.
Yeah.
In Just Cause 3, they took all of those resources and just put it into the wingsuit.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
It's like, at this point, I would rather they just, like, put all those mechanics and then put you back into the same world, like put you back into Just Cause 2's world, because
a remastered.
Yeah, I just added the wingsuit, added all those great movement mechanics, added all the sort of upgrades for the grappling hook and stuff, and then put it back into the world of Just Cause 2.
Oh, incredible!
And it's the world thing is crazy because Just Cause 3 looks very pretty, but there's like nothing there. They're just kind of like beautiful vineyards and then the occasional small town
and fields.
Whereas Just Cause 2's world is super diverse, so there's like loads of different sort of types of biomes. Yeah. So there's like whatever you'd think of with video game levels, it has all those things.
And because the world's so big, it doesn't feel awkward at all.
Yeah, not at all. So like you can sort of be in what feels like its own sort of mini huge city, like in a GTA style thing. Obviously, it's sort of pared down a little bit from that, but it's kind of there, and the height's all there, and the verticalities, and the sort of and then you can kind of go what feels like just miles and miles and miles away, and it makes sense. It feels good to sort of get from that place to the other, and it feels normal. And then you're in this completely different space exploring different stuff, and it's filled with like little interesting random things that you can mess about with. Whereas Just Cause 3 has none of that stuff.
It's just pure rolling landscapes, hills, plants. Whereas here, like, you spawn to the top of a mountain, drive down the mountain, suddenly you're in, like, a snow-capped forest, and you're just weaving in between trees. Yeah. Or, like, you're in this, going along, and obviously the biggest thing that annoyed me about Just Cause 3 is the size of the main city.
Yeah, it's tiny, right?
It's like a cluster of tall buildings that's tiny, whereas in this it's got like a city biome where it's like 4 big island cities all connected with this motorway and set of bridges.
Motorway is so cool. I love I remember I didn't do it this time I played, but I remember I would like for hours probably I would just like hang out on that motorway, like standing on top of the cars, jumping from car to car, just like messing with them and seeing what like dumb things I could do.
First thing I did.
Yeah, it's just like it's real good stuff. And so like I don't know. I don't know why that stuff got dropped out. I don't know what happened.
Do you
where
think it's like
those fascinating little bits just got lost?
Do you think it's like fucking what's it called? Like just the capabilities of the PS4 with like the increased graphics and the huge world. Do you think no? Because obviously there are other huge worlds that can do it fine.
I mean, it when it launched, it ran terribly on PS4.
Yeah, it did.
So it doesn't feel like that.
The load
was,
times.
Yeah, that was all really bad. The first things I did was the first thing I did was I went to the biggest airport they have,
Which they don't have in the other one as well. In 3. Come
so
on.
like I think the cool thing is that this stuff is there, but there's never like story missions that take you there. You know, it's the story missions. Okay, so the story missions are all crap and don't need to be seen at all. I don't think you have to do any of them to get any upgrades or anything. You can just.
Really?
I
think
think
you do.
so. Yeah.
Could you get like extractions and loads of?
So it gives you extraction straight away.
Okay, and loads of like vehicles and.
I think. Yeah, so it gives you like vehicles and guns and stuff that you can just get dropped off.
Okay.
Straight away. Yeah, so none of this stuff is ever really, apart from obviously some locations, like shoved into the story, and it's all just kind of there because they know they have to make this space interesting. And so I went to the airport, and the airport just has like just an absurd amount of planes taking off. Like every 2 minutes, there's a plane that sort of just spawns and takes off, and it's all kind of like, I kind of like the sort of lo-fi nature of it. How like everything's kind of, it's there because they know you can have fun with it, but none of it quite like feels real.
Doesn't
like,
feel no. I mean, there's
like
no.
you take like GTA, right? You take GTA 5, and GTA 5 has all those things, like it has an airport or whatever, and it has lots of like fun little things to interact with.
It has like other vehicles
only,
that you can drive around and like people. Yeah, it feels like an airport.
But only if like it makes sense to the world, you know. Only if it's like, well, we have this in LA, so they're gonna have this in Los Santos and blah 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 blah. Whereas in Just Cause, it's like, well, why don't we put like a big mile-high club in the sky that has like it's like a floating blimp thing that you can walk around.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because you can fly to it, and then I guess you can hang out there.
Yeah, there are missions
like,
on there, aren't
sky,
there?
We should put something up there.
Get a blimp.
The second thing I went to, which is another example of this, is
this game.
There's not far from the airport. There's a racetrack with cars that always go round on it.
That's what I did second.
Yeah, and it's like there's no justification for it. The cars are like the same 3 cars but in different colors. They never stop going around in a circle. They're so clearly like on a sort of set path. There's no like, they're not doing anything other than they're there for you to fuck with.
Yeah.
Which I just love. Like I just love that acceptance that this world, this space is just about player fantasy and just about going to do whatever you want to do to this space.
And those, like, the amount of time I've spent on that track during my life.
Yeah, it's
either
ridiculous.
like just because the cars will sometimes like race alongside each other, and like just being on one and like taking out the wheels and watching them flip, or just because, and those cars drive quick as well, so you can actually race those cars. Which is like super satisfying, or just trying to destroy those cars by nudging them. Off the track.
I would do all that, and then eventually, when I got bored of that, they like go under a bridge, and there's these sort of huge supports for the bridge that you can sort of like kind of like large ramps in a way. But anyway, I would sit on top of those with like a sniper rifle and just try and pop their tires as they went around.
Oh.
It's just like good stuff like that.
What a
just
fun
like
game.
Making your own fun.
And there were some like cops around there for some reason.
Yeah.
As well, and like I bumped into them. I didn't even realize they were there. And then the sirens going off, and you're just racing cops around a track. Jeez, man.
Yeah, it's funny because it does feel, not excluding the story stuff, which feels intentionally B-movie-ish. The game itself just feels intentionally sort of. It's really, really good and it's great fun, but it feels like it's just made by a smaller or like just less funded team. But they somehow managed to make the world feel huge and involved and incredibly fun. Whereas, it's I think it's a really fantastic video game overall. but I did find it hard to come back to after Just Cause 3. And I think at this point, I feel like there's now, I kind of don't really want to play either of them now because 3 is just not really very good aside from that one thing. And
2 doesn't have the movement.
2 doesn't have the thing that 3 had that was really good.
No, I mean, I think 2 had enough to bring me back. Like, I could see myself... If I was in a world where, like, I just couldn't play anything else, or just for whatever reason, like, I don't know, someone comes in and steals, like, my computer, my PS4, and I had to play PS3, and obviously I couldn't buy a new one
or do anything else.
I'd be happy to just do that. Because also another thing that is just miles apart, and I mean miles apart, in 2 and 3 is driving. Back me up.
Yeah. 100%.
Because in 2, I don't know if it's just because the car, like, the acceleration on the cars is ridiculous, and the handling's so tidy and clean. And square is a handbrake, but it's essentially press square and you do like 180 turns if you just press sideways. So you can do. They're so easy to drive, so quick, so fun, so responsive. But like no vibration, which was a bit odd.
In its own way, right? Like it's not. I don't know if the driving is technically like good, but it's fun and like allows for fun.
It's fun.
So, like it's fun.
Whereas, and I think that like a problem I had with 3 was because I love driving in Just Cause 2.
Yeah,
but
too.
in 3, the cars felt so slow and so unresponsive.
It was like such a bummer, like a real surprising thing that
like,
they just changed it.
Got in a car and it just felt terrible. Especially when like your other mode of transport, which is the wingsuit, Bill was like faster, funner.
Well, this is the thing, is that like in Just Cause 2, you have like a genuine choice of transport because you don't have the wingsuit. You don't go as fast as you do in Just Cause 3. You just in the air. You just don't go as fast. So you have a choice of like, well, I could to get to this mission, I could either try and grapple hook everywhere, which might be a little annoying and take too long, but it does. But like if it's through a forest, that might be easier or something. Or I could get the car and go the long way around, and the car's gonna be like consistent and fast. Or I could like travel for a little bit and pick up a plane, and it's nice to have that choice. Whereas in Just Cause 3, it's just like, well, the wingsuit is by far the best way of getting around everywhere because it's fast and fun. And then I think the planes even were really boring in Just Cause 3. There's just no reason to be using a plane when the wingsuit's that good.
I thought that the planes, I didn't fly one of the small planes, but I thought like GTA planes felt way better than the planes. Like I went in one of those one of the planes in this instantly tried to like loop to loop, and it really didn't want to let me do it at all. You can like just about do it, but I would have thought this game would have been, and maybe because in the small stunt planes you definitely can.
Yeah, I don't like the planes in GTA 5 at least.
Really, I think it really fun.
I hate that shaking thing that they do. I find it really, really annoying. They like shake for no reason. I guess, I mean, wind turbulence, but like, it just annoys. I just switched off.
You know what, Lou? I can't say that bothers me.
Yeah, it bothers me.
Did you ever get the paraglider? It's because it's not like a parachute; it's like a paraglider, so you can sort of angle where you're going. Do you ever get the DLC which had the paraglider with the jetpacks on them?
Is that for Just Cause 3?
For 2.
Oh no.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Fun. Really fun.
Yeah.
It's basically the paraglider, but it has like a rechargeable jetpack, which pretty much means you can just do it forever.
Oh, that's interesting, because Just Cause 3's DLC, they added jetpack to the wingsuit.
Oh god, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, well, apparently it's like the best thing. It's supposed to just be like the wingsuit times a billion. And I sort of didn't let myself buy it because I didn't like the game enough to like buy another thing for it. But
yeah, bit of a shame, eh?
Yeah, it is a real shame.
I think people loved 1 too. I think 1 was from what I played of 1, it was very similar to 2.
I've looked at like some video of it, and like, man, that game looks old.
Yeah,
It looks like insanely old.
I felt the same way about 2. Like,
Two's
just,
not too bad.
Just getting into like PS3 graphics, you
Sure.
forget.
Sure.
I mean, 'cause growing up with them, and in a weird way, like swapping from, I don't know, it's like, we were playing later PS3 games which looked better than earlier ones.
Yeah.
But swapping from PS3 to PS4 felt like a nice big change up, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel insane. Whereas looking back feels insane to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it didn't feel like a big change at the time, but then it's really kind of hard to go back. It's like when you get a new iPhone, it kind of looks the same, and then you think you prefer the one you have, and then you have the new one for a while, and then you look back at the old one and you go, "Whoa, that thing is tiny and gross."
I like these.
Yeah.
Yeah, the block ones, the square ones.
No, I can still appreciate the 4 and the 5 look amazing, but
The 3.
the 3, no, you don't want the 3.
No, you don't want the 3. 3 is.
The 3's awful.
Yeah, because I mean the swap between the 3 to 4.
Yeah, the iPhone
That
4
was,
and 5 are clearly the most attractive phones.
And maybe it was just like that in a time where that was when I was like most interested about them, because that's when, I was actually going to get one.
That I mean,
at an age and like with money
that was
to get one, that I saw the 4 come and I'm like, damn, that thing looks fresh.
that was peak iPhone anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that Just Cause 3 does not have is multiplayer, which is the only thing they needed to do to make this the perfect video game.
No. We've said 100 things. Wait, you mean 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said 3.
All right. Well, no. So if they had just taken Just Cause 2 and added multiplayer, which modders have done, which you've never played, right?
No, I've never played it.
Yeah, man, you should.
Because
Get
I
it.
wouldn't want to play it by myself. I'd play it with you, but I don't.
It was
play
like
with strangers.
I played it on PC a while ago now, and it was just a complete shit show.
Really?
I think I can't remember how many people there were there. It might have been 60, it might have been 30.
Oh my god!
But it was like
that's way more than I thought.
Yeah. But it was everyone was in the airport, and it was just the most. It was just insane. It was good fun for an hour that I played it.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Oh, good app. We should do more of these retrospective episodes.
Retros. 3 retro. No, let's not do that.
Free retro.
I'll call it that.
Free retro.
I have not thought about a game you should play, so I'll tell you later in the week, and then.
No.
Whatever. Sorry, man.
Come on.
Sorry, man. I messed up.
You got nothing?
No, I don't think I have anything off the top of my head. I'm trying to. I don't know. It's a tough one. Got to keep this well lubricated.
Yeah. Anyway, sweet. Well,
this has
good
been
stuff.
episode 18 of Time Play 3HR.
So smooth to my ears. 18, man. It's pretty good.
It's insane.
Who would have thought we would have ever have done 18 podcasts?
Yeah,
about
it's not like
anything?
us to commit to something
To
for
follow
that long.
through on something.
This podcast goes up every single Sunday. Today it's going to go up very late, which is fine, I think. Every Sunday on iTunes and SoundCloud. And I think that's all the riffraff I have. Do you have any riffraff or any announcements for the listeners? Anything you'd like to share, Lockie?
Like, again, YouTube's still in production.
Probably stop. I know. No one. Obviously, no one's like waiting for this with bated breath. but also like, maybe we just stop teasing it until you have the time to do it.
Yeah, I've actually been really busy this week.
Yeah, you've been up to lots of business.
Yeah. So those are coming.
At some point.
Don't you worry.
I tell you what. Why don't you give us an ETA, because we're all really excited about it.
Well, it depends how much I have to do this week. Depends how much I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, man. It was good talking to you.
That was a good app.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, bye.
See ya.
I got 3 more hours.